What up? What up? Maybe y'all can hear me. Maybe y'all can. I don't know. Thanks for joining. We're going to go over the Mindy Lee case. Probably as much detail as I can give you, as much detail as we have. We're going to talk about what we know to be true, what we know not to be true. We'll address some of the bull crap that is tried to play off. We'll address we're going to pull up some pictures from the crime scene. We're going to pull up some pictures from the autopsy. We're going to pull up some video from Mindy's mother. We're going to look at a lot of stuff just to kind of get everybody caught up. A lot of people don't understand the case and why all of a sudden it's showing back up. It kind of never really went away, just so you know. It's not like a case that all of a sudden this is a cold case that nobody's been talking about it. Mindy's mother has been screaming about this case for 10 years. So there's a lot of unanswered questions, and now there's even more questions because we've received the crime scene photos. And after looking at just a couple of them, or just showing you guys a couple of them, you can tell immediately that something's up, like the story that they're telling. So we're going to talk about the story that they're telling. We're going to pull up a few maps so that you can kind of understand the layout of everything, show you where all this went down. We're going to pull up video footage from just about 30 days after, but we're also going to pull up the crime scene photos from the day that they found Mindy's body. And so we'll go through it all. If you're just joining, thanks for showing up. Make sure to hit like and subscribe and all that fun stuff. You can find a bunch of videos and a bunch of updates at the link right here on the bottom. So go to any one of those. I'll pull up some stuff real quick so that I have it ready, and then we'll get into where it's at. Let's see here. I'm just going to hit that, close. So we're talking about a case from Woodland Park, Colorado. Woodland Park is a town of 8,500 people. On top of, this is a case in my own town. So this isn't like like looking at something that I don't know nothing about. I actually know all the locations that are in this case. I live very close to where this all took place. I've ridden this track around the high school, this trail around the high school. I've taken people to this trail around the high school in video. So if you're joining for the first time with Dad with a Phone, this is where I live and have lived for the last over a decade. So we are going to start with the story that from Mindy's mother. Okay. So the story that was told to me directly from Mindy's mother, who has lived this thing more than anyone in the last 10 years. On Thanksgiving Day, November 25th, I think it is. I was looking at a calendar, or maybe it was November 26th. Let's look. Let's get it right. 2010. I'm pretty sure it was oh, excuse me if I blow my nose. Ooh. Right now, I'm actually receiving more reports. So here we go. just so you guys know what I have here in front of me, I have the actual police reports that I'm going to be reading from. Oh, so these are the actual police reports. This is the a report from Officer Sean Goings. So this is his report that I've got in front of me. I also have a couple of other officer reports in front of me. We have all these. Let me. What I'll do is I'm going to do this so we can read it together. I was all ready, and then I kept wanting more stuff. Forward photo. Oh wait, I can pull these straight from here. Oh, y'all aren't going nowhere. So November Thanksgiving 2010. Pulled up that calendar. That's what I wanted to do. And then I got distracted because I got text messages. So the calendar from there on November Thanksgiving would have been on Thursday, and it would have been the 25th. Yep, that's what I thought. So on the 25th, Thanksgiving was 2010. On the 26th, the story goes from Mindy's mother that on the 25th, Mindy and her youngest daughter drove up to Woodland Park, out to Sherwood Forest. So this story kind of starts out in Sherwood Forest, which I'm going to take y'all to via here. I don't need directions. This is my neighborhood, remember? So I'm going to take y'all out to the Sherwood Forest. So we get out here to Sherwood Forest, which is on the other side of Divide. A lot of you know Divide, Colorado, because right here is the Teller County Jail, where Patrick Frazee was housed for quite a long time. So that's the Teller County Jail there. We're going to go out here to Sherwood Forest, which is a neighborhood just outside of Divide, okay? So it's going to be right here. This is the Sherwood Forest right here. Yeah, this is the Sherwood Forest. So this is where it all starts. Kim and Shannon have a house out here. They still have a house out here. It's still located out here. I have the address. I'm not going to dox them on this live. They have a house in Sherwood Forest, or their parents do. Their parents do. Sometime on Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. Well, first of all, Mindy and her little girl come up here, and they stay up here Thanksgiving evening. So sometime on Thanksgiving, I'm getting over a freaking head cold. See, I just had to deal with it. Sometime on Thanksgiving, Mindy gets out here to the Sherwood Forest. She's out here. She spends the night. On Friday the 26th, she calls her mother, and her mother doesn't understand what's going on, but hears Mindy say, "Mom, Mom." And then that's kind of all. And then her mother says that Kim took the phone away. And that was at about, I think, around 8:30 or something. Kim says they are taking Mindy to the urgent care in Woodland Park. At that time, the urgent care was right here, where it says Penrose Mountain Urgent Care. Okay, still to that day. The urgent care is right here at the corner of 67 and 24 in Woodland Park. Now, they don't have any record of them ever going to the urgent care or the hospital or anything like that. There's no record of them showing up there. But this is the story that Kim tells Mindy's mother. Then, at some point, they say that they report, and this is what we have. Let me read this report here, so I don't just tell you. I'm going to read the actual police report, and you can make it up for yourself here. Let me see here. Let's see here. So they come and Shannon make a report that says basically Mindy jumped out at 11:30 Parkview Place. All right. So somewhere around 11:30, the address Parkview Place, which we're going to take you over to, and we're just driving down 24 here. We're going to catty corner over to the school here, and right here. So this is 11:30. 11:31 is right here. 11:35 or something's right here. This is 11:31, okay? The reason that's going to become important is because this was a vacant house in the neighborhood. Now, what we understand is we don't know why they were in this neighborhood, except that Kim and Shannon have some friends over here. So they're over here in this neighborhood at they're over here sometime at night, and somewhere right around here, they say Mindy jumps out and she runs somewhere in between here, in between this house. Now, there's a fence here that's a split rail fence. It's still the same today as it was then. I'm going to show you a video here in just a second. Street view. They don't have street view of this. I would take y'all down to street view, but there's no street view. It's like flat view, right? There's no exit ground level. So I'm going to show y'all a video that Mindy's mother took just a month later. But this is the area in which that video was taken. And they say that Mindy ran somewhere in between here. Just a second. I got a text message from Vicky, Mindy's mom. All right. I got messages coming in. I got people. I got a lot. We're stirring a lot of noise in this case. That's why I'm kind of catching y'all up, because we've already released a bunch of videos and a bunch of stuff, and we're stirring a lot of noise. And so this is kind of new stuff coming in right now. I got to get focused though, because I got to get y'all through this before the end of the night. Show y'all some snickies. All right. So Middle of the night, not middle of the night. Sometime, I think it was around 9 or 10 o'clock. I'm not trying to get all detailed on times here because the times are confusing after this anyway. So there's I have the police reports, and the police reports say one thing, but then there's some discrepancies in the time. So oh well, let me see. I got a new police report that just came in. It's downloading right now. I should just go pull these up directly so you guys can see them. So we'll read through this so that you can see. But basically, they say that the story starts in this neighborhood and that something goes down in this neighborhood where Mindy jumps out of an SUV with Kim, with Shannon, and with her daughter in it. Something happens in this neighborhood. We find out because the dogs, we know that we have on the report that the Woodland Park police, after she went missing, I'm trying to open up these, stop sharing. Oh, perfect. Let me see here. Come on. What is up with my interweb? I think they're screwing with me, kids. They do not. Oh, here we go. What is this? All right, here's the summary. That's what we got here. We want to read this summary. Save image. That's what we're looking for. Bang. Dog summary. Y'all know I ain't even looking at this, right? I know y'all know I ain't even looking at chat. All right, on December 2nd. All right, here we go. That's what I wanted to look at right there. Bingo. Bingo. All right, we're getting there. Y'all thought I wasn't going to be ready, but I'm ready. I want to read this one first. It says, because the reason where we're jumping to, let me pull up Google. We're here right now, and in the wee hours of the evening, about probably around 8:30, 8 o'clock, Mindy's mother gets a phone call. Mom. Kim grabs the phone, says, I'm taking her to the urgent care. Then at sometime around 9 o'clock, 9:45, they report that Mindy jumps out of the car right here. Somewhere on this street, she jumps out of the car. And right between this house and this house, okay? The next day, the following days that would show up, she would be missing for 5 days. All right? She'd be missing for 5 days. But when she was found, just so you understand, she says they say she jumped out of the car here, and then 5 days later, Mindy was found right here. So right here at this shed, right where that hand is, you can't see probably, but right here. So 5 days go by. All right. They say she jumped out of the car right here. 5 days go by. She's found right here on the backside of this shed. Now, a couple of things you need to understand. This has been a walking path for years and years. People walk this path every day. This is a walking path around the school. They go up into these woods here. You can see these trails. There's trails that go all the way through these woods and over to this other neighborhood. I have ridden my bike through all these trails, down this trail, around this trail. And I have done that since I've had my electric bike. But for years, people have been using this as a daily walking path. Okay. Thanksgiving, a lot of people home, a lot of people out walking, a lot of people trying to walk off that Thanksgiving dinner the next day, right? During that next couple of days, some things would happen right here. And we have the police report, okay? So they say she jumps out here. We have a police report and a dog report that says they let the dog out right here. The dog immediately goes to the front of this house right here. All right. They then say the dog does a loop through here. They let the dog through here. Dog does a loop around here, comes back to the front of this house. Goes out here, then goes into here, does a loop around out here, comes back to the front of this house. Okay? The dog does this multiple times. Goes around out here, comes out here, does a loop, goes in here, also comes out here, does a loop out here in these woods, comes back to this house. All right, right here. This is 1131. The cops get permission. They get permission to search this house. All right. How do we know that? Here's what we know. All right. Shannon tells them, come out here. Says 1130 Parkview, Woodland Park. He pointed at the driveway and said, that's where she jumped out of the car. The tracking dog started in the driveway of 1130 Parkview Place. Started moving westerly towards 1131 Parkview Road. The dog hit on the door of 1131 Parkview Road, then would leave to the circle the house, then would hit on the front door again. The dog hit on the front door 1131 Parkview Road approximately 10 times. Again, $1131 Parkview right here. All right. The dog hit on the front door of this house 10 times. All right. The dog then went to the woods to the east of Woodland Park High School and circled around a few times. After that, the dog led Mike back to 1130 Parkview Place, which is where the trail started. I asked the homeowner if we could search his house for Mindy, and he gave permission. They searched 1130 Parkview. They searched next door. All right. I want you to understand that. I'm going to pull this up one more time so you guys can read this for yourself. Shoot, where's my StreamYard? Here we go. StreamYard, Google Earth. They searched this house because that's where they started. The dog hit on this house 10 times. This was a vacant house at the time, all right? Nobody lived here. Why didn't they go in this house? They searched here, right? They never once searched this house, okay? They searched 1130. The dog hit on 1131 10 times. Went around here. Went into the woods. Went into the woods east of the high school. I know these woods well. Came over here east. Went into the woods. Came back to this house, right? Now you read it for yourself. You read it for yourself. I'm going to share it with you once more so everybody reads this. Share. Stop sharing. Share screen. Chrome. Facebook. The dog continued into the field. Okay, the dog then went into the woods to the east of Woodland High School and circled around a few minutes. After that, the dog led Mike back to 1130 Parkview Place, which is where the dog trail started. I asked the homeowner if I could search his house for Mindy, and he gave me permission to search. I searched every room, closet in the house. I also searched the garage. CPIL McCormick, and I also searched a detached shed, all with negative results. At 7:14 p.m., I went to the Country Lodge, 723 Highway. I don't know why I went there to ask about if Mindy was there. So the dog does all this search, comes back to, listen, the dog continued into the field of grass behind 1131 Parkview, then circled back to 1131 Parkview Road and worked his way into 48 Parkview. We asked the homeowner to allow us to check his outbuildings, and he gave us permission. Negative result. Hodge told us that Mindy had run up to the front door of 1131 Parkview Road, then ran away. He also said she had dropped her shoes in the driveway of 1131 Parkview Road along with a cell phone belonging to Kimberly's daughter. He said he picked up both the shoes and the cell phone. That's kind of a map, a rough map of the dog search. All right, I'm going to cut out of this for a second. Then we're going to get into this, when they found Mindy. Oh, kill my screen. I had to blow my nose for a second there, kids. Sorry about that. If you're just joining, we're kind of going crazy through some stuff because I'm getting these reports that come in. I'm also getting pictures. So now we're going to talk about 5 days go by. They search the dog. The dog doesn't even go over by the doesn't go near, doesn't go to the woods or doesn't go to the school. The dog doesn't. This would have been on dry ground. She goes missing here, right up here in the somewhere right in here. The dog comes to this house 10 times. Then all of a sudden, she's found over here. She's found right here 5 days later. She goes missing on Thanksgiving from right here. From right here. 5 days later, she's found right here. All right. The dog circles this house, comes around here, goes over here, goes over here, goes in here, right? Dog never, ever, ever comes over here, right here. Supposedly there's a body. This is a bloodhound. This is a bloodhound search and rescue. There's a body right here. That's where the body is found 5 days later. The dog potentially runs in these woods. These are woods east, right? We don't know the exact trail of the dog. But the dog does come back to this house 10 times. They search this house. They search outbuildings of this house. They search the outbuildings of 48, which was probably here. But they don't ever go into this vacant house. A vacant house that a bloodhound hits on 10 times when they're looking for someone. And then 5 days later, right here. Let's look at what they find. So what I'm about to show you are actual crime scene photos. We've kind of talked about some of these a little bit in the last couple of days, just trying to get everybody kind of caught up on the story they're telling. One, two, three, four, five. Six. I'm going to read the report. I'm going to pull up these pictures as I read this report so you can kind of visualize what this officer is saying. All right. On December 1st, 2010, at approximately 7:50 hours, I, Officer Shine Goings, went to the Woodland Park High School and began a grid search for Mindy Lee in a field on the east side of the high school. I had to drive up a snow-covered access road. I noted that there was 2 sets of footprints on this access road. These prints were approximately 15 feet away from where the body was found. The footprints appeared to be old, as snow had blown into the print impressions and were nearly covered. After completing a search of the area with negative results, I went to check the dugout area of the high school baseball field. As I approached the area, I noticed that there were no footprints in the snow on the field, with the exception of animal tracks. None of the tracks were around where the body was found. I entered the field through an unlocked gate on the southwest end of the field near the entrance. There is a tan storage shed with blue barrels lined up behind it. Normally, these barrels are lined up nearly against the fence and the back of the storage shed. As I walked past the areas, I noticed that several of the barrels were disturbed. I looked between the barrels and the chain link fence. Officer's note: there were 10 sections of chain link fence stacked against the perimeter chain link fence. This caused there to be an obstruction that could not be seen through from the outside of the fence. I saw some red fabric protruding from the snow. I brushed the snow away and saw a human leg. I called into dispatch and gave my location and information. Then I had located a body. I also called for detectives and other units to respond to my location as I secured the scene. Detective McCormick arrived a short time later and took over the scene. Officer Gemini provided access control to the crime scene area. Officer Sean Goings, badge number 3070. So that's what he wrote. All right. What he's talking about is right here. Now, it was covered in snow, and the tracks he's talking about are right here. He's talking about coming up this access road. Okay. This access road that has a gate now. At that time, it didn't have a gate. You could just drive up here. Anyone could drive up here. All right. This is not the dugout area, though, just so you know. The dugout area would be over here and over here. This is just some storage shed stuff. So he says this gate was open. All right. That's what he says. Okay. But let me show you something. He says this was unlocked. Right. This is why he came over here, right by the shed. He came through this gate. He says it was unlocked. Well, that's a little contradictory to this picture. Let me pull it up here. Oh, let me find it. I thought I had pulled it. Oh, he doesn't even show it. That's the deal. Wait, let's see here. Yeah, okay. So the gate he's saying was unlocked. Let me show you something. There we go. There it is. He's saying that this gate right here was unlocked. All right. He says that this gate right here was unlocked. I call bullshit, first of all. Right? I call bullshit. Let me show you something. That gate's always locked. I've never seen that gate unlocked. I was on mute the whole time, wasn't I? Dang it. Look at that. Terrible. Terrible, terrible. That gate that they say was unlocked right here. They say this gate was unlocked. Guy says the gate was unlocked. There was no footprints through it, but he walked in here, walked around the shed. This is where Mindy's found, right in here. But look, he goes right over to there and he looks. This is his footprints. This is everybody's footprints coming over. Take a look. All right. Come on. Come on. That gate wasn't unlocked, first of all. That gate is always, always, always locked. All right. Just, I was showing y'all this video that when I wasn't talking, the gate always has a chain on it, just like that. This is actually what the ground would have looked like before the snow when she went in there. All right. Now, I think she was brought in there sometime right before the snow hit. All right. Because when we look at this picture here, I'll show you a picture. There is no snow when they remove her body. There is no snow where her body was. Now, what? I have shown pictures from, this is what you would have seen walking by, and I don't think the dogs would have missed this. Like, I feel like the dogs would have caught this. They would have seen, they would have come right over to this fence, because this isn't like chain link was blocking. But you see this thing right here? That's on top of Mindy. That one's on top of that one that's on top of Mindy, okay? So this barrel right here that's on the bottom is actually on top of Mindy. And let me kill this. This barrel right here is on top of Mindy, and this barrel is on top of that barrel. And so you have to understand that they would have just, the dogs would have hit on this. They would have seen her had she been there when they did that search, because there was no snow on the ground at that time. All right. But let me pull up a picture of what the I got a question today. Was there snow under Mindy? No. There was a spot where you'll kind of see, but it could have also melted. They could have put there when there was just a little bit of snow coming in and they knew their tracks were going to get covered. Because when I look at this, it looks like there could have been some snow under her. So Mindy was here. Basically, her legs were here and here. That barrel was sitting on top of her leg right here. You can see kind of the shape of where the half of the barrel is, but it was off her there. This is after they've removed her. If you're watching this, I'm going to show some other pictures that you may find graphic. So I'm just giving a warning now. If she was there, I really believe those dogs would have found her. So he says he couldn't see but just a little bit of red through the fence, which makes sense because the picture that I see here, you know, even the if you were to get right up next to the fence, you could see some hair. Let's see. He said that you couldn't see, you wouldn't have been able to see the body, but with no snow, the dogs were within 100 yards of this body. They were within 100 yards of this body, and they didn't see the body. So when someone says, oh, the dogs didn't see, come on. Search and rescue dog. So you could see a little bit of red. This is how he says, and somebody walked right here. Must have been him, right? That's all we could assume. Oh. So hard. I'm going to show you another picture that, in my mind, just completely blows the scenario of Mindy Lee crawling in here, covering herself up with barrels. All right? Because that's the story they try to sell, is that she went in here. All right? I am warning you now, this picture may be found graphic to some. This barrel is on top of Mindy Lee. This barrel is on top of that barrel. And they've been here since before the snow started. So somebody came in here, covered her up. They knew the snowstorm. We got 6-8 inches. You could see, well, this probably shows about 6 inches on top of the barrel behind her here. There's just no way. If I continued to unfold these pictures, you would even see more and more that she's underneath this barrel. A month later, this is what the barrels look like. So this is what they look like from outside the fence. Same barrels. A month later. All right. Somebody picked those barrels up, moved a couple of them, stuck her in there, and chunked those barrels on top. And that's where the story ends. Now listen, they say that they gave Shannon and Kim polygraph test. That the story is she jumped out, that's it. So who else is involved? Who else knew about this? Or did Shannon and Kim just pass polygraph test? They say that she ran across terrain like this, didn't get any scratches on her feet. Those are the houses right there. They say she would have jumped out of this house right here, come around this corner, ran through these woods, ran backwards, ran all the way through over to here, hid herself in these barrels, stayed there for 5 days, because she wasn't there for 5 days. So where was she for 5 days? Right? Where was she when people were walking this trail before the snow came in? Where was she the day after Thanksgiving? Where was she? Somebody knows something. Somebody somebody knows something. They know something. They know that there is a story that hasn't been told. They know something went down there. Is there motive? Was there motive to kill Mindy? Maybe. She goes missing. She's found 5 days later. Suspicious circumstances around where she's at. Circumstances. But no questions. No major investigations. It's ruled hypothermia. Hypothermia. How do you rule a death hypothermia and not come up with a reason for that? She just went out there, laid down, froze. Nobody found her for 5 days. Solid. She was frozen solid. Come on. I don't buy it. A dog hits on the house, 1131 Parkview Road, 10 times. But you search the surrounding houses prior. This is a vacant house, a missing person, a search and rescue dog, a bloodhound hits on this house 10 times. And you ignore it. You don't go into a vacant house. I don't understand that. I don't understand that at all. This dog searched all around this house, came back to the door 10 times, and they searched this house. They searched the neighbors' outbuildings. The story, I think, goes askew here. Something happened here, right here, in this house. I think Mindy was here for 4 days. Probably already deceased. I've reached out to law enforcement who found Mindy. I've reached out to Sean Goings. I've reached out to a couple other investigators to see if they'll answer my calls. If they don't answer them now, they will before the year is out. That, my friends, I can promise you. They may be able to ignore me now, but they ain't going to be able to ignore me forever. I can tell you that. This little town of Woodland Park, a little mountain town, they like to keep it safe. We're surrounded by national forest. They like to play like there's no crime here. This is why they wanted to cover this thing up, keep the statistics down. The story is told by known drug addicts, known drug dealers. We're just getting started. We're just getting started. We got to open this case back up. Somebody has to come forward. Somebody's going to have to come forward. They're going to have to tell us something new. We could go through file after. Listen, I got more files. What do y'all want to see? You want to see more files? You want to see more pictures? You want to see more video? Somebody is going to have to say something. They're going to have to come forward. What happened? Who passed this shed a couple of days before? Who was in the area? Who saw somebody over here? Who had access to this gate? Who had access to this gate? Somebody's going to have to come forward. There's a lot of speculation. Was it because Mindy knew something about another crime? I'm not looking for a suspect. I'm just looking for answers on what happened. There's a lot of suspects. There's a lot of people we could point the finger at. I just want to know what happened. The truth. Not this made up story to shade statistics or cover up something else. This girl didn't just climb between these barrels, pull barrels on top of her, overdose on drugs. I have seen the autopsy reports. She is not a drug user. She is not a meth head. She's not someone who's shooting up for the first time by herself and running out into the snow. There is a lot of questions about, does she have scrapes on her feet? No, there's no scratches on her feet. Does she have scratches on her legs? Yes. She's got abrasions, some scratches, but she was wearing long pants. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Like she was dressed after she ran through the woods. They found a bag of methamphetamines stuffed inside her. This isn't even logical in the equation. This 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 next picture doesn't even make sense. Why? The only time people stuff drugs up inside themselves is one, when they're trying to sneak into another country with drugs, or two, the cops pull you over. The cops pull you over. So Mindy was wearing long pants. All right. Wearing long pants. This is why I say that I felt like they were, they had somehow, um, they somehow, like, she got, like, they got her, These aren't like leggings. I want to show you. I'm going to show you. Again, this is graphic. People, if you're going to freaking report me, just please. I'm trying to bring awareness to this case. I'm trying to give you some understanding, but I'm also trying to be respectful to the family, but I'm going to show you some photos here and you're going to see. So, Mindy was wearing long red pants. This is an actual picture of Mindy Lee. She has long pants on. These aren't leggings. These aren't like thin pants. These are look to be some sort of canvas pants. All right. They look to be some sort of canvas pants. They've got cuffs. It looks, there's no rips or tears or holes or anything. There's some dirt, it looks like. You can see Mindy's feet here. The tops of this one are not. It looks like this is some frostbite that has set in, but her pants are not ripped in any way. These pants would not ride up on Mindy if she was running through the woods or the trees. She would have these pants would cover and protect her legs, okay? The next picture I'm going to show you is going to be a picture of Mindy's legs. So again, this if this is too graphic, please don't watch. These are a picture of Mindy's legs. It just seems like she ran through the woods, she ran through, but then they found her, they clothed her, and then they hid her because her legs do look like she had run. Through, she had some scrapes, there's some bruising. I'll show you a close up of this little scratch on her knee. Pull it up. This is a little scrape on her knee. You could see that in the photo of her legs. You can kind of see just, you know, like that she did. Portions of me say it feels like she ran through, but I don't see her getting these scrapes and these scratches if she's wearing the pants that she's wearing when she is found. I just don't. So part of the story seems like there could be logical answers that she did run through the woods or she did, make a run and got some scrapes and scratches. Her feet are clean, but then we go to what the pants she was wearing, and it just doesn't seem to me that these pants allow these type of scrapes and scratches. So you got to understand that I'm not trying to point the finger at anybody. I'm just saying the story that they're telling us doesn't match up. She's buried under barrels. She's wearing pants, and yes, her legs have some scratches on it, like maybe she was on her knees, she was scraped, she was scratched. But she's wearing pants when she's found that would easily keep her from getting scrapes and scratches. I'm looking through a couple other photos to see if there's. Here's another look at what is the scrapes and the scratches on her knees. This is just another view of that. Um, Again, if you're watching this and you're just joining, some of these pictures can be considered graphic, so viewer discretion. So this is her leg, and again, these are some sort of like scrapes and holes and scratches. Not 100%. Could almost be like burns. I don't know. I'm not a forensic pathologist, but I do know she had pants on. She can kind of see these are on her knees. I'm going to pull up a picture of her arm. I can find it. These are the scrapes on her leg, actually. I'm going to pull up the scrapes that were on her leg so people can see those closer up. Again, if you're sensitive, go watch Oprah. So these are some of the scrapes that were on her legs that we saw from the wide angle shot on her ankles. I'm trying to find her arm. I also want to show this picture here. This is again going to be a very graphic photo, but I want you to understand something. We do know that they never scraped under her fingernails. All right. And I'm going to show you again a picture of her hand. But they didn't ever scrape under her fingernails. And I don't understand why they wouldn't check that. Again, if you're just joining, I'm showing some graphic images of the Mindy Lee autopsy. We're just looking for things that they didn't do. They didn't scrape underneath her fingernails and collect that DNA. And you can obviously see like that they could have collected something from underneath her fingers. And obviously she's got some frostbite because she was frozen, and that's what you're looking at here is the discoloration. But they could have definitely scraped underneath her fingers to collect any sort of anything that was there just to preserve it, and they didn't do that. Let me pull up, trying to find a picture of her arm. She was wearing a long sleeve black shirt and red pants. Okay, so this is a picture of where they call it a puncture wound, what they call a puncture wound that they found on her arm. I'm going to show you a picture of that, a close up. And so this is what they would have called a puncture wound, or on her arm. But I I see this and I say, well, I don't understand. Like if she was a mainliner or a user, she would have had multiple scars if she was shooting up on her arm. And just my opinion. Um, let me see here. Another angle. Gotta see something. Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely what I'm showing you is a picture of the puncture wound that they say is in her arm. Okay, I don't have another picture that I can show you that's appropriate. Um, the other pictures I can't even zoom in on. Let me see here. I can show you this one, which will show you the size of it. So there you go. You can get a measurement of the size. Stop share. So, like, this is the measurement. So they're showing this is of her arm. I'm 100% sure this is what they're calling the puncture wound that they found in her arm. Again, it's not like she has, and she doesn't have. She has pretty. I mean, she doesn't have a bunch of scars. She's not. It doesn't, in my opinion, look like she's a what your typical drug addict would look like. She's not by any means underweight. She's a little bit heavier set. Um, at least at this time, you know. And so I know that, and that, I know she was wearing red pants that don't have any, that if they were obviously covered in snow, they could obviously look like they were clean or whatever, but it just looks like those pants would have kept her from getting any sort of scratches that we saw on her legs. I know for a fact that she didn't bury herself in these barrels. And then there's that 5 days where they search with the dog. People walk up and down that path. Mom is searching. Uh, Boyfriend is searching. Friends and family are searching. They've organized this big search, and then all of a sudden, a police officer decides to go out before the organized search and do a grid search. It didn't look like he had done any sort of grid search. It looked like he went straight to the shed, and found her. I can tell you that Sean Goings is still around Woodland Park. I have reached out to him. We will see if he responds. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining us tonight as we kind of went through this case. I hope you have a better understanding of it. There's 100 questions. There's 100 articles you can go read about what they said happened. I don't believe what they said happened. I just don't believe it. So the question is, who knows the truth? Who's going to come forward with the truth? We could go over the evidence. We could go over the pictures. I can tell you right now, my opinion says that body was placed there. That body was covered up by somebody who knew that storm was coming in, who was able to go unnoticed around the high school, who was able to, they knew somebody was missing there, and they still took the guts to place that body there. And so, just hands down, I don't believe the official story. I just don't. And so, share this story, share Mindy's story, continue to make noise. Again, I have more recordings, I have more videos, I have more pictures. I could go on and on, but I don't want to. I want to leave you with this. So make some noise out there. If you want to support me, you can go like all the links there. If you want to give to Dad with the phone, you can give to Dad with the phone right there at that PayPal. That helps me just motivate myself, helps me whatever. whatever. It is what it is. You're listening. If you want to support me, you can support me. If you don't want to, you don't have to. Go share, go join the Facebook groups, go join the Facebook page. Like, subscribe, do all that crap you're supposed to. Thanks for watching Dad with a Phone. We're going to continue to go over the Mindy Lee case. We're going to continue to look into Mindy Lee's case until we can get it reopened. We have reached out to law enforcement. We have some other professionals going to come on and give us their opinion. We're already going to do that. We are in contact with the family. I may in the future talk with Vicky live. I may talk with Mindy's older daughter. I've been talking to her a little bit, just messages. So stay tuned. As always, if you're a content creator, share, steal, copy this, go do your own thing, and get Mindy's name out there. I could care less. I'm not going to report you. I'm telling you, cut this stuff up, chop it up, go share it any way you want. If you want to give me credit, you can give me credit. If you don't want to say my name, don't say my name. But do something. Something's fishy. Something's up. Something's not right with this case, and we should be able to get it reopened. It shouldn't take that much. There's enough evidence now that's slapping us in the face. So we'll talk to you guys later. Peace.